Tragedy today for the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. A deputy gunned down during an eviction. A second deputy and a locksmith also shot. That gunman hit by return fire.
Welcome to another episode of Fallen Heroes, where we recognize the men and women who make the ultimate sacrifice serving and protecting our community. And today, we honor Sergeant Terri Sweeting-Mashkow of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office.
Deputy Terri Sweeting-Mashkow, 47 years old, 25 years and 16 days of service with the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, made the ultimate sacrifice.
Sheriff Flowers said 3 of his deputies responded to a home inside the Bermuda Club Somerset Bay community in Vero Beach to serve an eviction notice to 37-year-old Michael Haberstam. The eviction came after his mother went through the legal steps to move him out, but it's when deputies arrived with a locksmith, things turned violent. Deputy Florentino Arispe shot in the shoulder before retreating into the home's garage. A locksmith hit, now in critical condition. A sergeant who wasn't injured returned fire, hitting the suspect, but it was Terri Mashkow also hit, who sadly lost her life.
On the morning of November 21st, Sergeant Sweeting-Mashkow was doing what she had done so many times before, responding to a call for service. Terri had given everything she had to the community she loved, right up until her final call for service.
We should all be out here. It's a great loss for our community. Wonderful person. It's just been a great sadness for this town. Just senseless. I mean, I don't understand it.
She was the kind of deputy who seemed to know everyone, and more importantly, made everyone feel known. She began her career as a public safety dispatcher, the calming voice on the other end of the line, before realizing her lifelong dream of becoming a deputy sheriff. Over the decades that followed, she patrolled neighborhoods, answered countless calls, and stood beside her community on its best and worst days.
Terri has been here my entire career. You know, she's been with us 25 years, and she worked 20 of those. She was in dispatch before she went to patrol, 20 years in patrol. Then she went off to work in our civil section. She was one of those steady hands in the mix every single day. She was one of those people that you could count on no matter what. You knew she would always be there for you. She was a friend of everyone. You know, there's nobody in the agency that have a bad word to say about Terri. Everybody's got a great Terri story to tell.
In places like Gifford and across Indian River County, Terri was more than a uniform. She was a mentor, a role model, and a reassuring constant. Friends and colleagues say her smile could light up the room, and her presence had a way of easing tension, whether she was kneeling down to talk to a child, or checking on someone who had fallen on hard times, or guiding a younger deputy through a tough call.
She just wrapped her arms around you. If she knew that you needed help, she would be willing to help you. Her sense of loyalty to her family, every conversation, it always ended with something going on with her daughter, or She was rushing to make sure Casey was home and he was good, or the dogs and her son.
Many in the community knew her by name, and some even asked dispatchers specifically for Terri when they needed help. She was firm when she needed to be, fair in every interaction, and deeply compassionate with people who were struggling. She didn't see cases, she saw human beings. And she never stopped believing that people could change for the better.
She'd be working a zone, she'd meet a family in crisis, and her first instinct, her automatic response, was not just to do her job and move on, it was to help.
Over the course of her career, she earned multiple commendations for life-saving actions, honorable service, and exceptional duty. The kind of recognition that reflects years of quiet, consistent excellence, not just a single moment.
She was very full of life. She had a great sense of humor, always laughing, positive attitude, and you could quickly tell through the academy process that she really had a heart for this job that we were about to, this career we were about to begin.
But if you ask those who loved her, they'll tell you her greatest achievements weren't medals or certificates. They were the lives she changed, the people she encouraged to get back on their feet, the younger officers she trained and guided, and the neighbors who felt safer because she was on duty.
Because I remember Terri as a dispatcher when she started, and I was a young patrol deputy at the time, I just remember her being on the radio and just being that voice of calm when I needed it.
In the days that followed, the Indian River community grieved together.
When times get hard, we come together.
Proudly wearing blue as helicopters roared above them. Crowds gathered in Merrill P. Barber Bridge, honoring a hero gone too soon.
She was downright the most amazing person you could find. She'd do anything for you. She'd give you the shirt off her back. She knew how much they loved her, and she'd be honored to know.
To be something simple,
Right.
You know what I mean? And this turned into a devastating incident that not only killed the deputy, which also injured another deputy, which also killed the locksmith that was helping.
At her funeral, held in a packed hangar in Vero Beach, thousands of family members, friends, and officers from across the country came to say goodbye. Many officers in that very room had been trained by her and credited her with shaping them to be the kind of cops and the people that they have become.
She was one of the people in that class that kind of kept us on track like that kind of, all right, we're gonna make it together. And she was one of the ties that kind of bound us in that way.
One story shared at her service captured who she was. A woman who Terri had arrested multiple times came to the sheriff's office after learning of her death, not in anger, but in gratitude.
I was in and out of trouble in my early 20s, so when I was incarcerated the first time that I met her.
As she struggled to turn her life around, the two met on a handful of occasions.
I was losing my mom to cancer. I didn't quite know how to handle that, so I found myself in a lot of trouble that year. And honestly, she probably came and arrested me a few times. She'd always be like, LeVar, what are you doing? Like, you're so much more than this. Like, you're smart, you're beautiful. Like, you gotta get your mind around. I know you're hurt, I know you're not knowing how to deal with things, but there's so much more to you than this.
As time went by, LaBara says Mashkow never gave up on her, so when she went back to school and it came time for graduation, she'll never forget seeing Sergeant Mashkow in the audience.
Someone who said that, hey, this is what you can do. Actually, you can do this plus. So to actually see her witnessing what she already knew, you know, it was amazing. It was amazing.
All these years later, and Labara now runs her own nonprofit, offering advice and encouragement to those in need.
And I get that because somebody showed me how to be that. Because someone was that for me in my lowest moments.
Away from the badge, Terri was a devoted wife, a loving mother, and a caring stepmom. She loved her family fiercely and filled her home with laughter, stories, and the everyday moments that matter most. She was also known as an animal lover, doting on her dogs and always finding room in her heart and sometimes in her patrol car for the four-legged members of the community. She is survived by her husband, her daughter, her stepson, and her mother, along with extended family, a wide circle of friends, and an entire law enforcement community who will miss her deeply.
All of the law enforcement is grieving because it's one of theirs, but I think it also hits hard on the families of the law enforcement officers that their loved ones could be in this situation.
Her loss is only the second line of duty death in the century-long history of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. But it's a painful reminder of the risk that every call can carry and the bravery that it takes to answer them.
You have to realize that, this is the weight of another community now dealing with the loss of a law enforcement officer. It happens more common than we'd like to talk about. But it's recognizing that this is a job that is extremely dangerous for the people who are paid to protect and to serve. And it's fair to say that this will be on the minds of many people in this community for years to come.
Sergeant Terri Sweeting-Mashkow of the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, your watch has ended. Your life, your service, and your sacrifice will never be forgotten. Your family, your friends, your community, and your brothers and sisters in law enforcement will carry your light forward. On behalf of a grateful country and community, thank you for your courage, your kindness, and your 25 years of unwavering dedication. Rest easy, hero. Your brothers and sisters in blue will take it from here.
Terri dedicated a quarter century of her life to serving the community and then gave the ultimate sacrifice just a few days ago. So when we say serve like Terri, we mean be as dedicated and professional as Terri was in everything that we do.
Until the next time, stay alert, stay safe, and stay grateful. And as always, thank you for your continued support, but more importantly, please support our shields. God bless.